top cards you're going to want to sell right now. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So we're going to start off over here with Snake Eyes. Now, I'll preface most of this because the discussion for this is going to be, do I want to play meta? Do I not want to play meta? And is there an application for future use for this? Now, that being said, we just got our Snake Eyes reprints. We do know that most of this kind of rebutted up very high post-tins. Promethean Princess has also gone up, but you also do know Diabellstar and Promethean Princess both have more reprints coming in November this year. So the question becomes right now, do I want to sink more money into this on the Azamina side of the equation, or do I want to sit here and I want to cash out of this deck now and get value? Now, obviously, I think value, actually holding this stuff up until this point has been a good idea because all those reprints that we got in the tins kind of balance things out for you. Because since the tins had such piss poor ratios this year, things like Snake Eyes cards have actually fluctuated back up in value. It's actually, they pulled an Uno reverse card out here. And we also do know that probably in Supreme Darkness, you're going to see more support dedicated to the lore of this, which means that once that happens, you're probably going to see these cards go up. So the question is, do you list them now to try to get rid of them now to capitalize on some sort of profitability? Or do you wait and then try to pick it up on the burst, risking information getting posted considering lore deck? And that is a question you are going to have to answer if you decide to look at the Snake Eyes stuff right now and go, it's not worth holding on to. I'm going to cash, I'm going to get back a little bit of this investment. And that's fine. That is. All right, if you're planning on playing Azamina, my hat's off to you. You got a long journey ahead of you. But the rest of the Snake Eyes stuff should be worth sticking around. The tin cards. Now, this is an interesting one. So this, I'm not saying that the cards you just picked up from the tins are worth getting rid of. It's the cards that received reprints in those tins that you still have those original versions too. So things like Chaos Angel, for example, that you might have gotten a reprint from the tins for, or, you know, been able to get. Things like SP Little Knight, you know, the original version, still what, $55, $60? Unfortunately, the tin reprint is about $45. So, I mean, I guess you could try to swap it and make $15. But, like, is it really worth it at that point? The discussion here is, since tins had such bad ratios this year, and these values of these cards, you know, kind of instead of being down cheaper, they balanced up on the higher side of the reprint equation out here, that there is equity still within these cards, but that equity will not last forever. All right, the fact that Konami created value in these tins on the shorter side of the equation was a good thing for the secondary market, which means if you have this stuff and you're like, I'm going to hold this for a little while, don't do it. Don't. Quick, get it while you can, because this game, it could be announced for a reprint tomorrow and you flush the toilet. You just wasted all the money. Like, what are you doing? A missed opportunity. Like, don't do it. If you have an opportunity, consider taking it. All right. I look at all these things right now, and I don't see how Konami doesn't take advantage of reprinting every major thing from the tins this year again. Or reprinting the tins themselves. Imagine. All right, Atlantean, max rarity, mermail. I think we are at the maximum for this. Actually, I'm pretty sure we're starting to see the decline already happen down here for the max rarity mermails. You know, up until the announcement of max rarity mermail and the hype after of the announcement for it, max rarity mermail, or max rarity water in general, was always something that was massively sought after. It was, we actually just have a local player reminiscing about water coming back to the game and being this, you know, the point for them wanting to come back. But max rarity water is, it's not worth having right now. I think if you hold water for a month post Rage of the Abyss, and Mermail is proven to not do anywhere near the level of the nostalgia that players are looking at right now, you're going to be really disappointed with it. And that's the thing I'm afraid of out here is, especially when you're looking in the max rarity department out here, the hype for these sorts of decks tends to fall off once initial set, or actually it's usually between the OCG release and the release in the TCG. If the deck does have one good sighting in the TCG, granted maybe at top 32s of YCS, you could see an explosion of value return, but it depends on, one, how that hype train is, and two, to what end it, is viable. We have 3 shifters, so, a Mermail Atlantean player is going to be skipping their entire turn out here in an absolute cry fest because they literally cannot play the game. That's the truth of the situation. As much as we might try to spin that around, it doesn't look good right now for the Atlantean side of things. So, okay. 6 Samurai. Huh? 6 Samurai mentioned on MCO40 channel. Like, what's going on here? Like, huh? Why is he mentioning max rarity 6 Samurai cards? Okay, so 6 Samurai hype is not anywhere near what the Atlantean hype is, but I've been seeing some people out here, some of these older cards, like Asceticism, and those spike ups, those were some pretty big movements out here. And, 6 Samurai has gone through random buyouts throughout the years. You guys remember the last legendary, what was it, Hatsume was the last one that just got snap called off of the market out here. Very interesting just to see that random buyout happen out of nowhere. But the 6 Samurais have been very, very bought out throughout the years. But this is one of those cases, you've just got your 6 Samurai support announced. I don't foresee another wave of 6 Samurai support for probably 4 to 5 years, which means dun dun dun, down goes the hype as per usual. And then eventually, you'll have the kick back up where people are like, oh, it's about time. More 6 Samurai support. They're going to do it. They're going to do it. And it's like, no. At this point, if you've got max rarity 6 Samurai stuff, I think it's the time that you consider, offloading it, get a little bit of equity back out of it. Once again, this is not water, but it's because the 2 of these are in Rage of the Abyss together that I have to mention and give them the shout out because, losing your ass on these sorts of things because you believed in max rarity something. At least the old max rarity stuff is holding true for the time being. And I think that's a good thing. All right. And then last but not least out here, meta cards that you don't think you're going to need. Now, this can be any sort of high rarity board break or anything. You also have to remember right now there are just so many cards that aren't worth getting rid of, like Dark Ruler No Mores, for example, Forbidden Droplets, post reprints. Ash Blossoms are like $4 to $5. You're better off just keeping these cards until a point that you might want to play the game. Now, obviously, you might have the Rage Quit vision, or you might have the I'm completely done with Yu-Gi-Oh! Screw this game, give me whatever I can get. $10, sure, whatever. I'm done, I hate this game, and then, you come to regret that decision. Rage Vision is it's an odd thing to be looking at out here, but watching cards in general go down the shitter it's a different time now, all right? The fact that we've had such heavy aggressive reprints this year, I think, is a good thing. But, the game is cheaper, which definitely makes people want to keep their cards a lot more. Because there's no point in selling them. Which, in fact, could be a good idea, actually. Keeping these sorts of things. You never know what's going to happen out here in the secondary market of these sorts of things. So this is the list of things I would consider, and reasons for considering wanting to get rid of right now. Value is a very fragile thing in this market, but you never know when Konami's going to reprint that card in your collection worth $100. Guys, have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.